Just great. I'm gonna give us this thing tonight, man. You know, where we had some amazing things happen. You know, that I can't tell you how big that dunk was, how big that three was. You know, in the overtime to get us going, and free throws. You know, we just stuck with it. You know, I was literally foul trouble. But my guys just, tell me to keep my head. It's gonna be a long game. Coach Stu said, you're gonna play the whole second half, and you just gotta give us a lot of energy, and that's what I did. And I guess great things happen in great situations like that.
Were you guys going to crash the boards no matter what there?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys knew that was all by design.
I told everyone in the locker room I want to give thanks to Aaron Tate, because he told me after I already, knew he was going to shoot that ball, because the way his clutchness is, I knew it was going in. But at the same time, Aaron told me in the back of my eye, he said, just go to the glass. You never know if the ball going to come out or not, and that's what I did. And, I was lucky enough to get the layup.
You were kind of falling down when you shot that. Just take us through that whole play. What were you thinking?
What I was thinking was I was hoping that he was going to make the shot, but I seen it partially get tipped, and I was trying to look in the air and see where it was actually at, and I was just going to try to catch it and go up with it. If they was going to give me a foul, it would have been better. But to end the game like that, it was tremendous effort from my guys, and give thanks to the coaches for helping us do it.
Lucky when the ball was sort of on the rim there. Did you have time to think?
I said, please go in. Please. And then when I finally seen it dropping, I couldn't really think no more because the crowd was so loud and everyone was jumping up and down. And when he finally inbounded the ball, I was just saying, please don't let this go in the basket. It'd be heartbreaking. And, it was just a great game. And I just want to give thanks to, teammates. My two seniors right here was handling their business. Carvel and Ant was holding it down in the first half. We had some tremendous baskets. I don't know how he do it, but like I say all the time, we have the best player in the conference on our team, and we're gonna stick to him, stick with him, and he's gonna continue to do what he do.
Carlo, your thoughts about the last play?
I just think lucky. There ain't really much to say about it to me. When it went in, I got overexcited. He just, it was a big thing in this being senior night, but to win, to clinch the regular season championship on senior night, in this type of game, with the type of emotions we all had going through us, it's just, I'm just proud of my guys. We stayed together through everything. It was a lot of times during the game, and especially in the first half where we could have fell apart and, went back to being individuals. And somehow, I don't know why we chose not to do that and to stick together as a team. And, Lucky was being a tremendous captain throughout that entire game. And, like Coach says, the basketball guys looked out for him.
What do you talk about the last play?
Oh, honestly, I thought it was going to go in. Like, when Carvel shot it, I just knew it was going in. But like I told Lucky, probably 50 times since we walked up the stairs, I love him. Like, I love him to death. Like, I love him.
The three of you, I think, were gathered at the center court before the start of the game with Kayvon, I think was the other one. What was the conversation going on at that point?
The conversation was,
If you can repeat it.
not fully, but, we just wanted, Kayvon and I just wanted to tell these two guys, man, we're going to miss him. And we got to end it with a bang. And, for them to have senior night like this, we got to get it done. Everything is thrown out the window. We got to go out there and play for ourselves, go out there and have fun, and, hopefully we got the win, and that's what we did tonight.
And you guys are all smiles, of course, but can you just talk about how special this night is for you?
Man, it's great, like, to have all our fans and family members here to see this on senior night, and for us to show so much togetherness. Like, you can't ask for more. Like, it shows that we're the ultimate family.
How big a boost was Hawk for you guys, given that he was injured on Thursday? He got 2 big offensive rebounds at the end of the game, man. He scored off both. Were you expecting him to play as much?
God makes miracles, I didn't think he was going to be able to go. I told him when we was eating, I said, if you can go, you go. But if you can't, don't risk it on one night. We all have each other's back, and you're going to be our biggest supporter. And he just told me, I'm gonna try. And then when we went down there for pregame, I seen him there with Jason working his butt off, and I looked and I said, what, I think he's going to go tonight. Him playing 31 minutes gave us a great boost. So he played with a lot of confidence.
So some Indiana toughness.
I was about to say, you got the Indiana. I know you're
Carvel, you played 42 minutes. You barely got a chance to even take a breather on the bench a couple times. How were your legs in those final moments, trying to make those shots and trying to come forward? Do you have enough left?
Yeah, I mean, I had started cramping after the reverse layup. You know, I was fine. You know, I was begging him not to send me on the bench too long, and begging him to let me stay in the game. You know, regardless of what was happening, I was going to try to fight through it. You know, it's too big of a game, you know, for me to let my guys down by trying to rest and not empty my tank and give everything I have.
Carvel, on that last possession in overtime, you guys were down 1, you took a three-pointer. Was that just, you know, did you have in your mind beforehand that you were going to take a three, or was it just a shot that was available for you when you came off that screen?
I don't really know. I knew I was shooting it when I got it. I knew no matter what the play was, if I touched it, I was going to try to shoot it. You know, I just felt like, you know, I like to go 1, 2, 3 dribble pull-ups at the most. And, you know, when I got off that dribble right there, that's where it felt comfortable, you know, and I let it fly. You know, like I said, lucky saved me, but, you know, I didn't really think I was going to shoot a three. I didn't really have anything in mind. I was just going to be aggressive and take whichever shot felt comfortable.
Can you guys talk about what you've done here? You know, 13-1 in this league is pretty incredible, and you don't have full complement of guys for most of the conferences.
I mean, it just shows our true toughness. You know, even with the guys that we had, you know, they're still with us. You know, we had this goal. You know, we played probably the toughest non-conference schedule in Robert Moore's history. You know, and we knew that we wasn't going to play these type of guys in our conference because everyone don't have the athleticism as the other guys in the other conferences has. And, you know, we told ourselves, you know, let's try to do something special. And once we seen our first couple of games, we was talking to ourselves saying, you know what, we can do more, you know. Even though we let that Central Connecticut loss hurt us, at the end of the day, we have plenty more games to, you know, recover. And we didn't just look back. We have that game in our head of how not to just let it slip and how not to just give up. And, you know, the last couple of games, you know, we've been doing a poor job in the first half, but we've been coming out with tremendous effort, and we've been, you know, just continue to stay with it, staying with the process, and we've been getting the wins lately. So,
I just think that it showed like the adversity that we face and how practices ran, and just the overall character of Coach Toole just lives through us, like how tough he is, how he gets the most out of you, how he sets it up where as though anybody can do anything on any given day. And it's not just about one person, it's about a team. And, you know, once we lost those guys, we came together. Like, I'm just proud of my team, and I'm just happy for me and Vail, man, to end it like this.
And you're the only one that's been here all 4 years. You've been on successful teams. That toughness that you guys are describing, is that something you can sense at the beginning of a season, or is that something that develops over the course of the season? Is something that's come about in the last month or so?
I think it's a little bit of both. It really starts in preseason because, you know, that's legal torture. If you make it through that, you can make it through anything. And you know, once we get down to the games and the different situations, and we see how people react, like it builds confidence and the toughness and togetherness.
Carvel, what do you think about all this?
What you mean?
13-1. Are you impressed with your team?
Not impressed. Like I said, I'm more proud. You know, we know what type of guys we got. We know what type of heart we have in each guy. You know, there's a lot of things that went on through the course of this season. You know, that it was at one point when me and Ant was down. You know, we didn't know if we can do this. You know, it was kind of nervous, like dang, you know, maybe we might not end our senior years the way, you know, that we worked so hard for it to be ended. You know, guys stuck with it. Guys fought through everything. You know, guys made it through the torture he's talking about. You know, I told him before the game today, in our pregame, that, you know, obviously everybody knows I've been through a lot in my life, a lot of adversity, but, you know, I was by myself. And I've never had a group of people go through as many things that we've been through and still be able to be successful and not succumb to anything that was faced in front of them. You know, these guys fight like no people I've ever seen before, and, you know, I'm just thankful I get to be a part of it.
Any other questions for these guys?
I mean, I'm not sure what to really say about the game. Obviously, an incredible game, a playoff game atmosphere, high level intensity. both teams just battled and battled and battled. Fortunately, we were able to get one last shot to go, and I'm thankful that we did.
I know you have no problem at all with Carvel being the one to take the shot on both occasions. Did you like the quality of shot, and what was sort of your mindset in seeing Lucky get up and at least get his hands on the rebound?
I thought the shot at the end of regulation was a great shot. I mean, he was getting kind of bumped both times, but he can kind of create that space, and that's a shot we've seen him hit tons and tons of time. I thought the shot at the end, at the overtime, as soon as it left his hand, I knew it was short. I just didn't think he had his legs under him. I didn't think he was. I mean, he had to shoot it obviously, but we were looking for him on that situation. I just didn't think he kind of got his legs underneath him, like I said. But in the timeout, as we're drawing up the play, Aaron Tate, my staff, Joe Gallo, Tim Lawrence, were screaming, "Just get to the glass as soon as, just go to the glass, just go to the glass." I mean, what are we going to lose on a transition layup? You know what I mean? So as soon as the shot went up, they were just, that's all they talked about in the timeout. And as soon as Lucky screened, he just rolled it and ran to the rim and, was able to make an incredible play.
When the ball is up on the rim, Lucky hit it, it's not going yet. What were you thinking?
I was thinking basically whatever's going to happen is going to happen at this point in time. I mean, we built the lead in overtime. I probably should have called timeout on a couple of occasions. Where Lucky turned it over and where we got the 10-second count. Those were my mistakes. In the Lucky situation, they were trying to foul us, so I didn't really understand why we were running around and trying to, break their pressure when they were trying to come and foul us. And I didn't necessarily want to call timeout, so then we'd have to inbound it again. But, I thought, a lot of times as a coach, I think you look for your team to fight, you look for them to battle, you look for them to control the things that they can control. And I felt like at that point in time, we had done everything in our power to fight to get the game, after the, to break the halftime deficit. The game goes to overtime. Guys were battling and battling and battling. And, sometimes it just comes down to the ball rolling one way or another. And I was comfortable either way it would have rolled, and I'm just glad it rolled in our favor.
How close was Hawk to not playing, to being able to give you 31 minutes today?
You know what? I saw Hawk when he came over yesterday morning to the training room. He had some good swelling in the ankle, but he had some good mobility as well. And him and Jason Daly, our trainer, they basically were joined at the hip all day yesterday. And by the third time he had treatment, Jason called me and said, Hawk wants to know if he can do the shoot around tomorrow. So, I mean, it was pretty much him, saying I'm going to go out and I'm going to play and I'm going to help my team however I can. And I didn't know what we were going to get out of him. I thought going into the game, maybe if we could get 15 to 18, that would be great. And now he goes and plays for 31 and, has 5 rebounds, 4 real tough defensive rebounds. I thought, he caused them to miss some of those interior shots, the handful that they missed. I thought he did a good job in a really, really big-time atmosphere. I thought he really stepped up. I told him after the game that I thought, he showed his teammates, his coaches, and everybody at the game, a lot about, his character and his toughness.
Talk about wrapping up the NEC regular season and doing it at home on senior night in a game like that.
Pretty incredible. I think obviously, not only our entire team, but Ant and Carvel, our 2 seniors, they'll remember that one for a while. Pretty good way to have senior night. And obviously, in this league, being able to win the regular season title is so important because it doesn't guarantee anything, but you kind of give yourself the best chance to continue to move in the tournament. And being on the, kind of having been on, the home team winning the championship, the road team winning the championship, the road team losing the championship, I'd rather have the game played in the School Center if we're fortunate enough to be able to get there.
At one point I saw you look at the guys and you're like, we're fine, it's okay. And Carvel said they were doubting themselves at one point at the end. But what does it say about this team, their ability to just keep coming back and winning these games like this?
It speaks volumes. I mean, it really does. It speaks volumes about, the way that they just stay with it. Some of the plays that were made late, Ant Myers, I think he dove into everyone on each baseline during the course of the entire game. Kayvon hit the floor. Dave made some incredible effort plays. Aaron Tate made some great effort plays. Lucky and Carvel obviously go without saying. But everybody that came on the floor contributed, and they fought against a very, very tough team. St. Francis is a team, that's their 4th game of the week. They battled, they took the game to overtime. Obviously had a great chance to be able to win it. And they're a team that's extremely physical, extremely tough. And in order for you to be successful against them, you got to at least match their intensity and their toughness, and we did that tonight.
Coach,
Can you sort of summarize what's happened here at 13-1? It's a hell of a record, no matter how many guys you got.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I actually can summarize it and do it any justice right now, to be honest with you. Maybe in April or May, ask me that question again, and I'll try and summarize it. When you're in the middle of it and you're constantly just trying to get to the next practice, get to the next game, worry about preparing the team, worrying about making sure all the guys are, mentally, emotionally, physically, prepared to go out and play. It's really hard to kind of sit back and step away and say, wow, this is pretty incredible what's going on here. And so you kind of need, when it's all said and done, I'm positive that in my short head coaching career, some of the most positive memories that I'll have as a coach, have come from this last 14 games. Just some of the resolve, some of the communication between the guys, some of the efforts that guys have made have been really, really inspiring, to not only their teammates, but, to our program in general. And I'm really probably the most fortunate person because I'm able to kind of observe it all and see it all. Those guys in the locker room, they you talked about at times maybe they had doubt tonight, but they're a group of guys who believe in each other. They believe in what we're doing, and they go out and they give their best effort every single time they step on the floor, and that's really all you can ask for as a coach.
That was amazing.
Wait till May.
You had you close this last week.
We got to keep moving forward. We got to keep doing what we do. We can't change what we've done. We can't, it's not like we're just going to play the bench guys. We got to go out and play. We got to continue to stay sharp. There's still things we can get better. Some of our offensive execution I think can improve. And we're going to play 2 very good teams on the road. So it'll be 2 more really good challenges for us and to get ourselves ready to go and play in the conference tournament.
You've had Carvel 2 years now. You've seen him have big games. It's almost expected that he can create a shot and do some of the things that you've seen him do. Do you get a sense, though, prior to a game or in the first few minutes of the game that he's going to be especially sharp or especially effective?
We always anticipate him to be sharp and effective. Tonight obviously he came out, was extremely aggressive, was able to create space, was really, our offense in the first half, to be honest with you. But he's a guy who, regardless of how the first half went or the first couple possessions went, he has that ability to be able to just turn it on, kind of like we saw Thursday night. He had, and when we went to LIU in Brooklyn, he had 16 second half points at LIU. He had 13 second half points against Brooklyn, in games where he had foul trouble. He has, incredible ability to score and to shoot and to create space and to get in rhythm. And, even if it's after, some games last year where maybe he didn't shoot it great early, came back and made huge shots late. And it's just a testament to who he is as a person. And I'm sad that we've only gotten to coach him for 2 years, to be honest with you. He's had a major, major impact on our program, and not even from a on-court status. The way that he carries himself on campus, the way that he interacts with, whether it's, fans, whether it's media. He's a incredible ambassador for our program. And if we could, fill our locker room with Carvel Andersons and Anthony Myers-Pates, it'd be really, really easy to coach.
Any other questions?